Darkness fills your life and pain supreme. When evil forces have deformed your dream, it's time to open up your heart to let the light shine through. No matter how you look at it, you'll always know it's true.
GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's all where easily surpass the rest. And when it comes to games, we'll always get the best.
People by your side forsaking you, and you cry because you don't know what to do. It's time to open up your heart to let the light shine through. No matter how you look at it, you'll always know it's true.
GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's all where easily surpass the rest. And when it comes to games, we'll always get the best.
It's time to open up, to let your heart decide what's true.
GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's all where easily surpass the rest. And when it comes to games, we'll always get the best. GameCube, it makes a big fuss. GameCube, Nintendo bless us. GameCube, it's all where easily surpass the rest. And when it comes to games, we'll always get the best.
Just like angels with burning hearts, we'll face the risk of our lives. The side of night, I cheer to embrace the magic melody from the distance. Can you hear it? Like the song of an angel with a tear in her eye, with an affection for her guardian. Side of night, I cheer to embrace the magic, starting an adventure for our future. We are all hoping for setting out to lead us to the new universe, shining through the starry night. We'll always stay by your side. Nights under a soft moonlight, fly high with grace and pride. We're gonna make it right. For this dream of ours we must try. Keep this hope of ours alive. Just do it, just Burning Rangers. To the brand new sky we dive. Wings we have are shining wide. Aquamarine colored sky, fly high with grace and pride. We're gonna make it right. Dream of people we're powered by. Running at the speed of light. Just do it, just Burning Rangers.
Oh, baby. The Rock. The repository of complete knowledge.
Where is it? Why? Is it something you should never put in front of your eye? If you're seeking information, then we think you should try the Rock.
The repository of complete knowledge.
Would it be? Should it be? Could it be true? Is it grimy? Is it slimy? Is it looking for you? If you're heading to the danger zone, you really should view the Rock.
O-C-K.
Is it gold? Is it zinc? Is it copper or wood? If you collect a 47, do you get something good? There is data and errata that can be understood. The Rock.
O-C-K.
Is it red? Is it blue? Is it yellow or green? Is it bumpy? Is it lumpy? Is it grumpy and mean? There's a ton of information that can jump on the screen. The Rock.
The repository of complete knowledge. R-O-C-K. 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 Ham clock.
Listen and you'll hear the heartbeat of a universe teeming with force. See all the forms and the faces of nature taking its course. And feel all the wonderful motion flowing through things far and near. Nature will share her secrets when we are ready to hear energy. These are a few of your faces, glowing in timeless places, bringing our lives new graces. Energy, there is no living without you. We must keep learning about you. And now is the time to find how to. Energy, you are profound. You make the world go round and round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round. You make the world go round.
Thank you, Energy. Sorry I blew your entrance. How's it going, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good weekend. If you're celebrating the 4th, I hope you stay safe out there. IT Guy, thank you so much for 4 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wardenclyffe, EP Idiot Bucks is close to 100. Boy, wait. Wardenclyffe did hit 100. Oh my gosh, look at all these big streaks. Bloodborne was 75. Oh my gosh, these huge streaks. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Dumb Guy 69, what a name. Thank you for following. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, RoboGrok, for following. Hi, everyone. How's it going? How's it going? This is it's been a low-key 4th of July for me. I was at the local swim club with my brothers and their kids yesterday. That was kind of the big thing. Not much going on today. It's been a lot of, like, on and off stormy, and it's hot. Nothing crazy. So many bits. Thank you for 4 months. Appreciate that. I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I made some cheeseburgers on a cast iron because it's too hot to grill outside in here. This was one of the more patriotic things I'm doing today is just drinking this Rocket Pop seltzer from Great Lakes. I'm not usually a seltzer guy, but Rocket Pop flavor's fun, and I like Great Lakes Brewing Company in Cleveland, Ohio. I am the Cleveland streamer, after all. I don't even live in Cleveland. I'm in Youngstown. Ooh, that's pretty good. Oh, damn. This is pretty good. You're able to get your hand on these. So, what's on the agenda? I know it's been a bit since I played like a big long game. I know there's a few things that are on the docket that I want to do. But I really want to play Elden Ring. I even just went and bought it on PC. I was hoping there'd be a sale. There wasn't. I just bought it because I played Elden Ring when it came out on the Xbox, and it was great. Really loved it. I did stream out Shadow of the Erdtree when that came out. But back then was when I was still like, the best thing to do is be a big beefy guy with a big sword and shield. I made that work and it was fun. I definitely would like to just try a dex build, just kind of a more typical dex build. Maybe even do one of those bleed builds. I don't know. We'll see what I find. And also, I don't want to do any summons. When I played it last time, I was doing the bell bearings, Mimic tier. There's even some fights I summoned my friends, I summoned some whatevers. That's a fine way to play the game, of course. I just want to this time do it without doing any summons. Especially like there are some fights I felt like I never really got to experience. Like Millennia is a big one. When I was a big beefy guy with a sword and shield, I just couldn't do Millennia on my own, so I just kind of had 2 people summoned and basically hung out while they took care of it. So I don't know. I would like to fight Millennia for real. So yeah. That's what we're doing. It's, we've played through a lot of the Souls games, basically all of them, actually, on the stream. So let's do Elden Ring now. This is the first time I've played one of these already. So I have some game knowledge, and I might not be too afraid of just, like, being like, well, where's this at, chat? What do I do here? So, don't backseat or anything. But, I might be asking more questions than usual, or if you know there's something really close by that's super neat, you can tell me. That's fine. I have the death counter ready to go. Yeah, don't overdo it, right? When people watch people play Souls games, I think some chatters have a tendency to overdo it. And I'll tell you right now, like, I don't care very much about NPC quest lines, right? Like, unless, like, I don't know, there's some amazing weapon you get from them. If it's just a weapon, right? I don't care. I don't even know what ending I'm getting. I don't know if I care. When I did the first time, I did the Ronnie one, which I think is still kind of the neatest ending, right? With shooting at 100 deaths, who knows? Who knows? I have no idea how many deaths to expect, because I've definitely gotten better at these games as I play them. But, again, no summonings. We'll see. Revan Lots, thank you for subscribing to Prime. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Is that working? Hey, it's working. Thank you so much, A Higgins 113 for 10 months. Appreciate it. Thank you. Yep, it's a nice low-key day. I've been enjoying it. Oh, thank you so much, Revan. I appreciate that. Well, happy to have you here. Also, I get to play it with the Steam controller, so that's fun. Let me know what the volume is. I already kind of went in and did some stuff. I put things in max settings, 4K. I mean, it should be fine, but I know this game isn't the most optimized. But we'll see. Should sound okay. Go for Dung Eater ending. I wish. Seems like it's complicated. I think I'd rather go for the ending with that lady who wants to hug me to death or whatever. Looks barely visible to me. The ray tracing option is very badly optimized. I might just turn that shit off then. It's concerning that it's still showing keyboard commands for down there. How do I fix that? It's Elden Ring isn't recognizing a Steam controller. Why? Do I have to like go into options and change that kind of thing? Yeah, I'm on borderless. Is this an in-thing? Is this an in-game setting to have my controller recognized in here? Device for as in display settings. Thank you. This way. Both. Ah, I see it. Thank you. Gamepad. That was weird. Okay. Doesn't specify what gamepad, but yeah, Xbox is the same as Steam, so we're good. All right. So, like I said, I want to do a Dex build. Warrior seems good for that. I'm not going to be doing any magic still. Samurai, huh? Well, the prisoner actually has a good amount of dex. Yeah, all that wasted intelligence, though. It looks like I should probably just be a warrior. I think when I did it the first time, I would have picked something that had a lot of strength. I probably picked hero. I never got too Winded Knight right. I would play it here and there, especially with my brothers, but nothing crazy. This Samurai has a good amount of starting endurance, which is nice. And like that strength might help. I guess we'll do Samurai. They look cool. I know better than to worry. It's interesting, it's still not right. They just assume I have a keyboard. I mean, I do, but I know better than to think this stuff matters too much. Alright, well, keepsake. I had no idea which one these. I think a few of these really matter much. Wouldn't I just want the golden seed? That seems pretty good. Not ashes. The keys are okay, but not that exciting. Yeah, probably just take the C. Honestly, I like the way that guy looks. I just, you know. I know better than to worry too much. Okay, well. I don't want to look young. Doesn't sound particularly aged to me. This guy sounds older than aged. Yeah, let's just maybe different. I don't know if I want the ponytail. I like that better. I know it's still kind of a ponytail, but you get it. Yeah, there's a firework. Oh, I start with a bow and arrow too, which I'll never use. It's gonna be weird playing this. It's been so long. Like I remember I can jump. D-Nitro, thank you for 3 months. Appreciate it.
Fallen leaves tell a story.
I kind of know what's going on in this story. Not much. That's the guy I fight at later.
The great Elden Ring was shattered.
That's like the way this majestic voice says the words, like the deplorable dung eater or whatever it is.
The lands between.
This is a proper noun dump for sure.
Now, Queen Marika the Eternal is nowhere to be found. And in the night of the Black Knives,
The Loathsome.
Godwyn the Golden was first to perish.
Yeah, it's like the pleasant dung eater.
Soon,
Who did it?
Marika's
Who killed that guy? Who
offspring,
could it be?
demigods all,
She's lucky she's hot.
shards of the Elden Ring. The mad taint of their newfound
The
strength
beloved dung eater.
triggered the shattering.
Oh, that guy. Oh, do I fight him without the special weapon?
A war from which no lord arose. A war leading to abandonment by the greater will. Oh, rise
Oh.
now, ye tarnished,
I do love this delivery.
ye dead who yet live. The call of long-lost grace speaks to us all. Horalu, chieftain of the Badlands,
Oh, that guy's important.
the ever-brilliant Gold Mask. Fear, the deathbed
Yeah.
companion,
Kind of a baddie, though.
the loathsome dung-eater,
The loathsome dung eater, man.
and Sir Gideon Ofnir, the all-knowing.
I don't remember that one. Who's that? I don't remember this Gideon guy. He's the punk with the book.
And one other, whom grace would again bless,
Tokoto the samurai.
a tarnished of no renown. Cross the fog to the lands between. To stand before the Elden Ring.
I wonder if my starting armor is pretty good. I mean, it's samurai armor. I think it'd be
And
okay.
become the Elden Lord.
That's right. I probably have online stuff turned on, so like, I don't even want to shield at all. All right. It's gonna take a second here. Right. Okay. So, how do I two-hand this bad boy in this game? I remember it was a confusing button comp. Can I two-hand this thing? I think so, but I don't know how. L1 plus... Well, L1 does that. Hi, Lance. I'm doing alright. Don't remember how to play this video game, but we'll get there. So, there we go. R1 push triangle. I mean, I assume I want to two-hand it. No, I won't do that. I imagine at this point, most of these messages are lies. At this point, right? Just, you know, dog jokes. I wonder if I'll kill this guy. Oh, just push X to attack. That's wrong. That's a bad start. All right. Well, does that count as a death? Nah. Okay. What do you get if you kill that guy? Get his swords. They looked neat. I would have liked to have done it. I'm not gonna restart constantly until I do it, though. I did go up to him and immediately pressed X, which, yeah, again, that's wrong. Alright, at first he's just like, that's an interesting dead body, and goes away, right? Right.
Don't worry, Torrent. Fortune is on his side. We found him here, after all.
Don't kneel into the water.
One of his kind is sure to seek the Elden Ring,
Whatever ending I do, I'm not gonna do the one where she's mad at me.
even if it does violate the Golden Order.
I still don't really understand who she is. The madness ending, is that the one where she's mad at me? Yeah, I did Moon Mommy the first time. Oh, we got flasks now. That's good. Right, the tutorial cave. I don't need that. Between anywhere no one is mad at me, especially the beautiful ladies. I agree. I agree. That's all I want. I wonder if I don't know where those bindings are for the first guy. I always see people use that item in their challenge runs and stuff. I never found that. Alright, that's one. Yeah. If I had one of the keys, which I don't. That's the thing. Now, if I had one of those keys, I'd have to like really research where I would actually want to use one. All right. I'm not going to be doing any of that. Can I even use this lever? Doesn't look like it. Oh, it's for this. Whee. It's kind of a shame it's going to be like still a good long while before we get sort of the next FromSoft game like this. I don't know. Maybe Duskbloods is more like a proper FromSoft game than I'm thinking it's going to be. I still don't know. All right. It's still pretty. I know not to fight that guy over there right away. The fire's been running well. It's a pretty game, huh?
Oh, yes. Tarnished, are we?
We're pretty tarnished.
Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring?
Yes.
Hmm? Of course you have. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance,
Spellbound.
without the strength, you are fated.
I'm going to be pushing through some of these. I have
Luckily
talked to these
for
people
you,
before in my life.
however, me. Vare. Are you familiar with grace? You may also behold its goal. That is the guidance. It will lead you tarnished, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance.
I need to talk to this guy until he says nothing new, or else I'll be sad.
Decrepit demigod.
All right, yeah.
It's time you saw castle if you seek the
All right. Ah, right. Don't want that. Okay, so avoid this guy. Man, I remember having so much trouble in this. Like, the first little enemy camp you go to, I remember finding that so difficult and grinding that for maybe, like, a couple hours. Take that, goat. I need your bones. This was not my first Souls. I played through Bloodborne back in the day. Just at that time, I was like, kind of like, yeah, but that's neat. I didn't like... I definitely enjoyed it more in my second playthrough. Did this guy always look like Santa Claus? Okay. Making sure I'm not crazy.
You're tarnished. I can see it, and I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not I am Kale.
Books. I forget they're important.
Goodbye for now.
I could reallocate that so I don't have a mana flask, right? Because I'm not going to need one. Whoops. It's kind of close to Christmas in July. Alright, first customer. Let's see. I got him. That got him. What damage does this do? Pretty decent. There we can. Stealthy. That thing's down. Oh, a Roly boy already. Come here, Roly. Oh, wait, those aren't Roly boys. What the hell are these? Get out of here. Oh, that was good. Oh, Jesus. Push you over. Yeah, not worth much. God, I forgot how pretty this game is. No wonder we all like this game so much. I'm also gonna try not to, like, explore every nook and cranny in this playthrough. Not like trying, obviously, speed or anything, but, you know, hit the big bosses, do the things I need to do. There's an item I want, go after it. Ludo Narrative Dissident. Thank you so much for following. It's a fun name. I like that. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Wonder how much the first level costs. I'm not even allowed to level up yet, right? Forget what's in this cave. I don't know if I trust this cave. Also can't see anything in the cave. That seems like a problem. I mean, looks like it's just some wolves. Okay, if I drop down there, I don't know how I get back up. How bad can it be? Oh, what was that? Ow. Oh boy. Man, that's so fast. Forgot how much faster the flasks are in this one. Oof. range of this thing. Got some silver fireflies. Golden rune. That's good. I've always been bad at dodging the dogs. It's kind of hard to tell. It's easier to read people than dogs. Yeah. Just how long am I stuck in this cave now? I guess I could... if I go... Oh, God, there's a boss? This is bad. Damn it, I just gotta learn some attacks here. Oh, bullshit. Oh, that's my last heal. I know the power of dodge rolling this time. Yep. This won't get hit anymore. God, it's delayed. That's 2. Gotta remember that. Greedy. Oh. I feel like I'm looking like I'm really good. I'm getting pretty lucky here. Big one. He's gonna do the jump. Somehow I got that. All right. Say that's good. Boost fire damage negation. Why not? Is there anything else here? Nope. That was fun. Take care, idiot box. Alright, we still can't level up. Can I lose my souls? That's my question. If people don't know, Carl is a Dark Souls speedrunner. So we have to trust his wisdom in all things. Are you going to Games Done Quick? Heck, are you there already? That starts tomorrow, right? Hey, what the hell was that? Oh, great. Golden Rune. I'm the Ozman. Thank you so much for following. Appreciate you doing well. I was able to swing it. Yeah. It's fun to watch it at home. I'll be doing. I haven't looked at the schedule. Maybe we'll look at the schedule together later, see what's exciting. I don't know what the finale game is this year. It is interesting playing this again. Because again, like even at this point, I remember dying quite a few times already. Just so much more used to these games now. I mean, we can go get that Grace first and then fight these people. I don't know if that even occurred to me the first time I did this. Yeah, I'll watch it from home. I'll invite the brothers some nights for some stream for some that I think we'll like watching together. I remember, I feel like this was the one where she would talk to me. I might have to die first is my concern. I don't know. Oh no, there's cutscenes playing. This is good. Boo, I'm a ghost. Surprise, ghosts are real. And we're hot.
Greetings, traveler from beyond the fog. I am Melina.
Robes are cool. Hooded robes. They're just neat.
I offer you an accord.
Alright, real quickly. What's the lore reason for the eye thing? Hey, babe. Thank you for 18 months. Appreciate it. I believed in a ghost that I saw.
The Finger Maidens.
I've heard of them.
They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid.
And we all know who the Two Fingers are.
But you, I am afraid, are maidenless.
Well, if only there was a maiden nearby.
I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the
I don't even know if I
Elden
can.
Ring.
I could just literally gift subs, you know.
You need only take me with you.
What do you call that accent?
To
Is
the
it just
foot of the Erd Tree.
also a British accent? It's like Shadowheart kind of sounds like that too. Where's that from? What part of UK is that accent?
Then it's settled. Summon me by grace to turn runes into strength.
Posh. It's just posh.
Ah, another matter.
That's basically roleplay.
I bequeath to you this ring.
Oh right, I already get
Use it
torrent.
to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you.
Received pronunciation. I never even heard of that.
Treat him with respect. Shall I turn your let my hand rest? Share them with me. Your thoughts,
Alrighty.
your ambitions, the principles you would
I mean, I know I usually just go straight into my main damage scaling one. I don't even have a weapon that probably has any scaling yet. Maybe I just want some more health right away. Maybe we'll I'm not doing magic. Maybe I'll cover my bases here. A little bit of each. I have to use those runes I picked up. Oh, Ronnie has the closed eye also. Okay, oh, this shit actually works. Alright. I know it was like trying to tell me how to put things on the hot bar, but I already forget. Weird I can't do it here. Oh, it's here. It's here. Down for this. Yay, horsey. The horse is fun. Let me look at this thing. I mean, it has some scaling, just not much. But it does have bleed. This thing has bleed. How about that? I remember farming these guys for quite a while back in the day. Oh, right, I didn't level up anymore. Well, let's kill this guy first. This guy's like a little bit of a bigger boy. It's fun. Oh, he's the one with the horn, so you have to kill him so he doesn't, like, alert everybody. Oh, and then the map's there. So that's good. Yep. All coming back to me. You got your super station set up? Yeah, I probably just need to get mine replaced. I don't know. It's like, was there something back here? Probably not. I don't actually have a level. Let's get one. So I gotta sneeze. Excuse me. Generous stealth there. In case you just ran into that guy. I'm gonna fight the bigger guy. But I feel like there's always one guy hanging around back here or something. There he is. Oh, another golden rune. And you? Man, so far it's like, again, this gave me a lot of trouble the first time. I'm like, these people are just stun locked pretty easily, and I have so much more endurance and it recovers so quickly. What did I ever struggle with here? What's the art for July? Oh, behind me it's Dumbo on the calendar. Yeah. Nice. I wish I didn't aggro that other guy, but... Oh, for crying out loud. I think that guy's actually on a patrol. He doesn't notice. Huh? Too bad. God, that guy drops a lot. That's probably why I farmed his hair. I probably just kept killing that guy. Let's get 10,038 runes level up, then I swear I'm gonna stop this little bit of grinding here, move forward. Still starting grinding, nothing crazy. God, the fact you can crouch, jump, even kind of crouch run. Crazy. It also feels really good, turns out. Hey, Wolf. Yeah, big enemy spawns in like this area, I think a little bit later or close to here. No, first time since it came out. This is my first time doing it without any summons. Doing it a dex run this time too. Maybe remember some doggas up ahead. It's crazy how memorable this game is, even though I only played it one time. It's been, you know, what, 6 years. Some games you play, you don't remember a single thing about them. Ah, there it is. Well, let's kill these other assholes first. I had to get my lump of flesh, though. Come on, guy, get him. Jesus. Closer than I thought. Oh boy. I am in big trouble. Oh, thank you. You're not dead, huh? Okay. All right, buddy, let's go. How hard can it be? Man, I thought this was so hard back in the day. Again, it's like knowing how good rolling is. Just gotta get under there. You just learned so many tricks throughout this entire series that is applicable to the entire genre you play. No, cocktail episode's for next month. The episode's gonna come out on Monday is about dinosaurs, not the Animal, the TV show by Jim Henson. Yes, the most American game of all time, Elden Ring. Oh, stop that. God, it seems like a pretty good moveset just to stand on this thing. Oh, we talk about the music video. I said, jump on the bed, hit my daddy on the head. I run around the house when they tell me not to. Take every chance to make a poop in my pants. Cause I'm the baby, and I got to. Yeah, what are you, Christian? Like Kamen Rider fans? Here they come. What if we just don't die? Hey, you.
Everyone's been grafted. Everyone who came with me. They crossed this only to have their arms taken. Their legs taken, even their heads taken. Taken and stuck to the spider. Did you know? If you're grafted by the spider, you become a chrysalid. It's quite a lark when you think about it.
Quite the lark indeed.
You're on your own, are you?
No, I got a maiden.
Heading to Stormvale Castle. Enticed by the one in the white mask, I suppose. Oh, you've come to be one with
I
the
can't.
spider.
I'm gonna watch
Well,
that video
that
quite
makes
yet.
us two peas in a pod. But I don't have your courage. It's scary, you know, having your arms cut off.
I bet.
Or legs. Or your head. I want to be like everyone else, but I'm just too scared. I'm nothing but a craven. Oh, I know. Can you take this little one along with you?
Oh, my first ashes I won't use.
The poor thing deserves someone braver than myself. And the spirits look rather fond. It'll be glad of your company, I think, the little un.
We're not doing that.
It was a pleasure to see you. Oh, can you pass on and tell them I love them? I'm finally getting the hang of this whole pain thing, you know.
Sure. Oh, a key. Yeah, her entrance is always cool.
This tiny golden aura is this light, but now you can see them, the rays of grace.
Sure can.
Upon the cliff, a demigod who inherited a if the rays of grace signal the castle, then the Elden Ring beckons. As an ally by pact, I pray that you are fit to face the challenge. Upon the cliff, a demigod. If the rays, then the Elden. As an ally, I pray to face
Alright.
the.
Go kind of up and around. Yeah. There's like another way inside of here, isn't there? Oh, maybe we should go see the Thing Reader crown. That sounds fun. I remember there's a guy on... I think there's one of those pumpkin head guys on this bridge. I remember farming him quite a while. Pick Samurai. That's supposed to be like Sekiro. I mean, is it a parry heavy class? I haven't done any parrying. I just did it because it had good dex stats. It's got this, not a parry. Alright, first caravan. Even we're fighting these guys, I mean, why fight them? Hey, Platypus, thank you so much for 35 months. Appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Look at all this fog. Crazy. Yeah, we do gotta get some new badges and emotes. It's been a minute. The Night Rain katana has a kind of a parry. That's interesting. That makes sense. Hello.
You'll see. Oh, bless you.
Character designs are so good.
Head to the foundation. Traverse Rhea Lucaria and reunite the Huff. Oh, but the bridge only. Stormveil. You'll see.
We're gonna do this. There's a mod that adds a deflect. It's neat. Now I'm curious where this goes. Get used to torrent again. This looks like nothing. Someone definitely died there. And you think there's a secret. The game wants you to think there's a secret. Ah, because it's over here. Maybe this is the secret path to get behind the castle. Two for one. Oh, who knows what the heck they're gonna possibly do with the PlayStation. I'm not gonna say all sorts of things to make it sound exciting. I'll be curious to see what it could possibly be. When I played the first time, my jumping heavy attack was basically my main attack. Still seems pretty good. Where is this taking me? Yeah, the bridge being out turned out to not be much of a problem. But the console folks shoot their feet off. I am almost out of, like... Boy, when it comes to, like, PlayStation and Xbox, I just don't know how much I care anymore. Even the exclusives, and like, I still want to like the exclusives. They happen so rarely.
Forgive me. I've been testing you to determine if the Elden Ring would truly have you. If you had the mettle to endure this long and arduous path. It seems my worries were unfounded. Torrent had your measure from the very start, whereas I merely pretended. There is but one other thing I can do to offer you guidance. I can take you to the
we can go to the round table hold now.
Gathering place of tarnished champions, guided by grace. Very well. Let my hand rest upon you for but a moment.
Alrighty. We made it. I gotta talk to everybody for a moment. Maybe also level up. Actually, I might be upgrading my weapon. You.
Oh, welcome to the Round Table Hold. I teach incantations and explore the secret so that one day, if a Tarn ensuring order regains its proper way, do you
I see it.
most tarnished are blind? You are well. What?
Nah, I ain't doing
The
those.
golden order shine through you.
Ah, hello. I'm, well, just the honor of one's house holds little in. By the way, have you met a young woman named Lanya? She's my servant. Take your eyes off her for but a moment, and if you find her, be sure to tell
Lanya.
me if you meet a young. She's a servant to my. She's been my. I've lost count of them, honestly.
Greetings. My name is Roderica.
Oh, it's you.
Isn't this place in the Round Table Hold? Covert Quarter. I never knew the guidance bestowed upon us tarnished. Although, I'm still looking for my own. It's all a bit, I'm still looking.
There's my smithing homie.
You're a new face. No matter. Lay out your arm.
Is it worth leveling this thing up? I feel like probably. Wow, it's very expensive to do so. There she is.
Greetings, great champion called by grace. I am Fia. Circumstances have compelled my stay at the Round Table Hold. Great champion.
Do I want to know?
Would you allow me to hold you?
I know that I want to do Dex and maybe a bleed build, which this has. There's like a big good Dex bleed weapon, and then it's within reach. You can let me know. But I'm not. I don't want to like worry about it right now. Should I let her hug me? I forget. What happens?
Do you think it vulgar, perhaps? Where I come from, it is a sacred
No.
act.
No hugging. Carl says yes. But everyone else but Carl said no.
I understand. Your disdain is only natural.
My disdain.
But should you change your mind, come pay me another visit.
She steals a little HP for an item. Is it? Do I need it for her ending though? What if I want her ending? She gives you an item that slowly lowers your max HP, but you can pop it. Break. I need it for a quest, so I need to do that now. I come back and hug her later, because I know she disappears at some point. I never like the quest system in these games too much. Yeah, I don't want cooties. I can hug her later. Okay. I think the dung eater hangs out here later. Whoa, Josh! Josh O'Page, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Appreciate that so much. Hope you're having a great weekend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Really appreciate it. Like endgames when she disappears, I see. Dun 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 dun. One of me or 3. Then jump on bed, hit my daddy on the head. Run around the house when they tell me not to. Take every chance to make a poop in my pants, cause I'm the baby, and you got to. The end. I got Ranny last time. Ranny ending. Of course, meant looking it up, but you know. She said I could be her consort. I don't really know what that means, but I think it involves sex. I don't think I need to buy any of these. Although this one has better deck scaling. That's kind of fun. It's a rapier, huh? Rapier build. It doesn't bleed, though. I want to do bleed. What do I think of Elden Ring's soundtrack? I think it's really good. I don't know if it's like an all-timer for me or anything. Consort doesn't necessarily mean sex in this game. Boo! What the hell is that? Some kind of dry consort? Thank you for the hype train. Try consort.mp3. Oh, promise consort redundant. Yeah, that's definitely not sexual. Right. 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 They were siblings. Although I don't know, it's a fucked up family. Right, literally, right. George R.R. Martin. Incest is kind of his thing. I think he made incest more mainstream. I think that might be his legacy. So I feel like that path was to maybe skip the castle, which I don't necessarily want to do. Well, right, yeah. There's also like so much. It's so incest that it's. Is it incest or masturbation? What's going on with that character? I don't know. Oh, Sacred Tear, nice.
You're tarnished, then. Believe it or not, I studied for a small.
10 runes is nothing, whatever.
My name is Tubbs. Presuming you're interested, only...
They're not great. Pebble, I thought people loved Pebble. Yeah, it's the second now. We don't want to do that. Although, it's like maybe there's something cool over here, but probably not. So yeah, this is just the... Hey, you could skip this here if you want to, but why would you want to? I could, like, I know somewhere in the start there's a cave where I could probably get smithing stones +1s. Maybe. Guess we just go back here and like get into the castle at least a little bit. My question is, where is the exit to the castle? Like, if I go through the castle, where do I come out from? Might be higher. I just yeah, oh yeah, I'm asking rhetorically. We'll explore. I don't like how much damage this is taking. All right. Right, gotta hit him again. I just want to see what this item is, really. Oh, don't do that. Ow, ow, ow. I wonder if it has something to do with all these rocks. Alright, I can make my flash stronger. That's good. Doubt I can level up. Well, well, well. Well, well, well. The hell is this grape? Don't remember the grape. Again for the hype train. I was like, we can see one of these creepy thrones. Wait, nothing in here? I'm not allowed to attack right now. That's interesting. Ah. Alright. So I assume if I fight him, then I go out this door. I'm not allowed to right now. So yeah, we probably do need to still go through the front entrance to fight him. I just remember going through the castle was kind of difficult. There's lots of jerks and stuff. You're gonna have to sneak in or else they start attacking you. Oh. Oh, maybe I got off that a little early. Kind of over here. Oh boy, it's starting. Ow. What I was trying to avoid. Alright, we're gonna reset this. Jump. Don't die. Ooh, still hurt the. Ooh, still hurt me and Orsi quite a bit. But it's still pretty dangerous, it turns out. Look at this guy. He thinks he's really sneaky. You just sit here all day? Is what you do? What? Who sees me? Let me kill the guy with the horn. Thank you so much, Dr. Schleck, for following. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's probably pooping in that bush. That's actually a pretty good point. God, these arrows are scaring me. Oh, I was a little slow there. Oh. Ow. Good idea, idiot. Take the crossbow out. I was, what, 8 feet away from you? That was a safe move. Screw you guys. Nice. Well, I remember this. This is before the first real boss. You also get 1 level, so I feel good about that first. We can grind out 1 level. Oh, that guy doesn't respawn. Oh, yes, he's right there. I was like, does that guy not respawn? I don't have the chains or whatever. I don't know where you get those. Oh, I got a dagger. How about that? Oh, come on. I can't use this. Yeah, I do not have the right. Fair. I still want to level up 1 time, because otherwise I'll have to worry about losing my souls. Oh, you do not have the right. Oh, I need 1659. I don't even have the right. What was I thinking? Gotta say, these guys have armor. I mean, it's better. It's a lot heavier. Looks like I'm still medium load, though, so may as well. May as well. They'll think I'm one of them now. It's the perfect disguise. This guy's got a big sword. Where's the guy with the horn? There you are. They're already dead, buddy. Oops. Okay. There's our level. All right. Guess we'll just go do it. I don't have any more smithing stones. I don't necessarily want to go looking for them. Yeah, I should get health. I mean, dexterity is going to give me 1 more damage. That's nothing. My endurance is kind of already fine, I think. Health. It's wild how many flasks I have already. 6. Nope, no summoning. What if I invalidated the run right now?
Foul tarnished. In search of the Elden Ring.
That's right.
Emboldened by the flame of ambition.
How do I remember this fight? He has like fan of knives.
Must extinguish thy flame.
This things again. I don't have the binding thing. Here we go. Oh, that's a bad start. Oh, come on. Oh, right. That's that shit. Oh, name throws it, right. Jeez, was that long enough? Got the bleed, I think. Oh, right.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy
Ow.
veins.
Ow. Ooh. That don't scare me. Alright, that did. Alright, first death. Not bad, though. Half health. I'm learning. Yeah, it's fun. Oh, good, Bucket. Oh, yeah, there's gonna be some fights with multiple enemies. Like that general dude that are gonna suck. far away? I don't really like where you're standing, buddy. Can't really roll behind you over there. Ah, that's the grab. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, damn it. Damn, I'm dodging. Okay, I'm not getting my hits in. I knew I need to keep rolling. Yeah, the sword combo just got to roll away. At some point, I like to get light rolls going. I could just get naked, I guess. Oh, bullshit. That's a bad start. How did those miss? Damn it. I think I can sneak one in. Probably being too aggressive. It ain't Sekiro. Oh boy, I shouldn't have jumped there. Ow. Bleed. That was big. Lots of bleed damage there, jeez.
Well, thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run thy veins.
Oh my god.
Tarnished.
Ah! They hit him there. I forgot about the little run. Jesus. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, got lucky. Ow, not there. Oh, that's it for healing already. Damn. Okay. Come on. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, that's what I thought. Alright, we're learning. It's fun. Yeah, I mean, I did not do much in the other areas besides go straight to this guy, so I'm probably not as strong as I could be, but that's alright. We can do this. Sometimes I think I'd rather spend that time like just struggling and learning a boss than necessarily like exploring every nook and cranny, looking for little upgrades here and there. Damn it, Mike. Damn it. Get as close to that bleed. There it goes. Oh, he did this early. That's fun. I think when he does that, that's easy enough to dodge. There it is again. Damn it. Oh boy. Really, to hit me? Ow. Oh boy, get out of there. Okay. Damn it, that gets me every time. Oh, not good. Oh, nice, actually. Well done. Right when I went for the heal, you got me there, dude. You got me there. That's fun. Yeah, I am curious how that Switch 2 version is gonna run. I might do like my spell build of the game on there for fun. Oh my god, that's a... I hate when I get hit before I even do any damage. I feel like an idiot. Ooh. Alright, I can take one more hit. Am I not? Oh, I thought I could just side swipe him there. Boy, I have 1 HP. That's wild. That's crazy. An amazing start. Well, it comes with, I mean, this game's $80 on all platforms. If you buy the DLC, that's why it's $80, because it comes with that by default. He's gonna bring out his hammer.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy
Okay, maybe I need to roll into him for that. Damn it. That was okay to heal there. Yeah, I gotta get past the double swing with the sword and the hammer somehow. Again, that first attempt was really good. The problem is I haven't done much better than that. God damn it. I hate when he brings that thing out. It's kind of, may as well attack through it though. It doesn't really do that much damage. It just interrupts you. That's the annoying thing. Nice tail. here.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run thy veins.
Oh boy. Could have been worse. It's worse. It's worse. I bet all you yes betters are feeling pretty good after that first attempt, but I only had that bind thing. This is a good start. Hit him like 3 times there. Yeah, do that some more. God, I can't believe how long that is. Oh, really? Oh, bullshit. Jesus. Damn it. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. What was that? I knew the bleed was close. If I get another bleed, might be good here. Jesus. Oh my god. Oh really? That hit me? That's not good. Well, we're toast. I had to heal so much just now. Oh, whoa, 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 what's that hitching? Oh right, this again. Not good. I mean, I'm getting worse because I never actually got good at phase 2 is the issue. There it is. It's fun now. Yeah, the second phase gets significantly harder. I gotta maybe be a bit more careful and pick my spots. Maybe wait more for when he does the giant hammer. God Believer's looking tense. We got a few more tries. We got a few more. It's fine. My ambition's mostly just to go to Disney World again. Come on, gotta actually hit him. Really? Damn it. There's the fireworks. Oh, bullshit. God. That's not good. Man, that one happens so fast compared to everything else. But that always gets me. Oh boy. Not a great start. Oh, I pushed B! I pushed B! Oh, sorry, this one's bad. Oh yeah, this is no good at all. There's the bleed finally. Damn. Damn. Collusion. Mike Pete Rose Minotti. I have 2 more tries. Come on now. Yeah, my ambitions are gonna stay awake, thank you very much. Okay, starting with that, I like that. Oh, come on. Do that, just jump at me, do the jump. Not that. There we go. I bait that out by staying at mid-range. Ah, I just pushed it, I swear to God. Oh, bullshit. Tail. Jump at me, yeah. Okay, this is gonna get the bleed off probably. There it is. Next phase.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run.
Damn it, Oh no! I was learning and then okay. Gotta roll towards him for that, not away. Roll towards him. Towards him, Mikey. For the hammer, I think. Catches me when I roll away. It feels good in the controller, yeah. Alright. The Steam controller. Do the jump. Gotta jump at me after you do that, buddy. Come on. Ow. Finally caught me. Oh boy. Oh shit.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins.
Didn't really help. Go, boy. Damn it. Alright, well that was 10, huh? Alright, sorry about that. That was a rough sequence there. Maybe my problem is that I'm medium rolling. Maybe I should just be taking armor off and fast rolling. Alright, let's see how this goes. No shirt. Fucking hope we don't die too much sooner. It's like, it doesn't feel like I take that much more damage, you know? And the trade-off is pretty nice. Oh my god. No bullshit.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins.
Jesus.
Put these foolish ambitions to rest.
Yeah, alright. I think this actually is gonna help, though. I just need to actually dodge things. I hear no bell. If only I could bring into being some kind of creature that could distract him for a moment so I can get some easy hits in. If only such a mechanic existed. Oh my god, I'm stuck. The rolls are definitely better. God.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly
Oh boy.
run in thy veins.
Ooh, I did it. Alright. Don't die to that. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's so fast. Shit. Come on. Oh, I can't recover. Oh no, it's going so well. Damn. I heard that Bio's not going to time mashup. No, I have not. The combos are rough. But that's why I probably need to just get out of the way and wait for better openings. That's the best opening when he does one of those. I take the pants off. That's probably what's holding me back. Damn it. I mean, this is the running version of that. I thought that was going to kill me. The Super Star gets the twos out. Nice. There we go. Damn it. Jump. Yeah. Oh boy. Not a good start here. Got the bleed. He's gonna. Oh, now he's gonna hit.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must
Oh my god.
tarnished.
We're toast. Got one heal. Maybe I can take this thing out more. Maybe that is the move. Get that bleed off. Damn it. Jeez. If I had one more heal, I'd be feeling okay. Yeah, closer. All right, definitely gotta play it. Playing it a lot more conservatively there in phase 2 helped a lot. So let's do that. Guess I could have like eaten some flesh or something too. Yeah, whatever. Start. Okay, that was pretty good phase 1.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must put these
Damn, what the hell happened there? Whoops. How dare you compare this to Dan putting up a tent? How dare you? Yeah, the phase 1 was good. I just got creamed in phase 2. I gotta remember I can't be that greedy with the hammer. I like dodging those. That feels fun. Okay. Oh, damn it. No. How do I only want this? Connect. Come on. Oof. Oh my god. Give me an opening. There we go. Ooh. Oh, so greedy, Mike. Awful phase one this time. Actually, kind of a good thing I haven't gotten the bleed off yet. I'll probably get it here. Yep. Let's just heal. Whoops. Oh, okay. Play it carefully. Happens. Oh, Mike, that's delayed. Thrust, back, delayed. That's delayed. Hey, Game Tune, doing good. Hope you're doing well. What happened to my gear? I wanted to do light rolls, so I took off my shirt. I think it's been worth it. It's kind of hard to tell. It's a fun fight. One of the best. Is this the best, like, real first boss one of these games? Usually the first boss is not too much. I guess depends on what you count as the first boss of Bloodborne. If it's Father whatever. But you kind of usually fight that guy on the bridge first. Damn it. Thought that was good. I think he delays it more in the second phase. That's my issue. Here we go. No. To be clear, again, I'm pretty weak for this fight, I think. I gotta remember to kind of get closer to him so he doesn't do the run for that. Oh my god. That sucked. Yeah, I'm definitely under level. Which I'm wishing I wasn't. Oh, right. Okay, man, he keeps doing that combo. That one's rough. Getting some bad luck here. This one's good, though. The bleed is helping. Oh boy, I haven't gotten the bleed off. That's good. Oh boy. Okay, nice, nice. Got out of the way of that. Ow. Fine. Oh, nice. Out of the way. Ow. Oh, could have been worse. That. Damn. Ooh. Okay. Oh no. Oh! Damn it. Yeah, closer. Best one yet. Ah, if I got that roll off, it would have been good. That felt good though. We're learning. Yeah, if I might have gotten another bleed off too. Feels good though. We're getting there. I say it's fun. It's fun. It's more fun to just keep trying to kill this boss at kind of a low level than to just grind out levels and then do it. Damn it. I hate that start. Everyone's shooting their fireworks off now. Yeah, I was kind of playing recklessly there because it was pretty bad. To be clear, before I got to this boss, I hadn't died once, so these are all Morgott deaths. Morgott, I don't know. Come on, jump at me, damn it. There we go. Oh, I got hit! Mike! Come on. There we go. Ow. Bleed.
Well, thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished.
Okay, this is a pretty good position. We got a lot of flasks. See if we can not die. I gotta really watch out for that. Don't do anything. Oh, that hit me. Gotta heal again. Damn, well, there go those flasks. If I roll into that, I should be able to get a hit off. Oh, good. Easy combo. Oh, I can't see anything. Well, that's gonna hurt me. Ah, what second too late? All good. Hey, registered. We're getting there. Let's go. Is that like to see? Yeah, let's keep doing that. Ow. Come on, Mike. Don't get hit by the easy stuff. Okay, that was great start. And then woof. Woof, 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 woof. Oh yeah, I kind of want to look into challenge runs for maybe Dark Souls 1. Asking Carl about it a little bit. Do a soul level 1 run. Yes, the fireworks' fault. Damn it. Oh, Mike, you're an idiot. You suck. God. It's terrible. Already.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run.
Oh, that thing. Oh, I feel great about this. Jesus. Yeah, that thing, man. Oh boy. Yeah, I remember. Follow up there. Thank you, Drum Kid, for 13 months. Thank you for the encouragement. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Oh, that's 20. I probably thought I might do this in 10. Oh, come on. We need to do that. Oh boy. Maybe 3 there is a bit greedy. Oh my god. Mikey. Now what? What do you got? Jesus. What the hell? Look, I've barely seen that one. Unless you're still thinking of doing Cove Veronica for me. Oh yeah, it'll happen. It's on the to-do list. I thought I ordered that special VMU and it hasn't come in yet, so I was kind of waiting for that. Yeah, right? What was that combo? I don't know if I've ever seen that one. Again, that first attempt, really good. Too. Ah, damn it. Oh my god. I was gonna get hit by that. There it is again. There it is. That killed me. There it is again. Where's this coming up? Half-Think Fire Team Elite 2 hasn't released it yet, just this year. Yeah, Samurai. I want to get another drink too, but I'm not doing it until I beat this guy. Oh boy, I'm not too close to trigger the good version of it, so I gotta do this now. Okay, there you go, that's fine. There it is again. What is this coming from? Now it's killed me 3 times in a row, this combo. What is this combo? It's got to roll all the way. He found his good button. Oh boy. Cool. That's a shamed greed. I was like, he's gonna kill me. Boy, it's gotten much worse all of a sudden. I think I'm being too cautious in phase 1 is why. I think all this range, I'm like staying away from him and he's doing these harder combos. I think I gotta stay in there a little bit in phase 1. Again, I am level 16. I just haven't rolled off the map yet. Of course, now it probably will. I hate that. I thought that was gonna hit me. Now I'm getting stupid aggressive. I bet Millennium's gonna go great. No, I thought I was far away enough, damn it. Late. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus. I can't get out of phase 1 now all of a sudden. Alright, this time for sure, maybe. Please jump at me. I should get a drink. Second here. Oh my god. Ah! Oof. Wait. Come on, where's the bleed? There it is. Do your thing. Man, not amazing, but let's see. Who's he got here again? It's a good start. That's not. God damn it. I should have been rolling out of there. I was like, I've been greedy and it's been helping. Don't you dare say hold that early. How dare you? It was Firehair's fault when you think about it. If I try killing him, okay, we'll do that this time. Cork gets zeros for closers, yeah. Something like that. I'm losing my bleed buildup. There it is. That felt good.
Thou art of passing skill. Warrior blood must truly run in thy veins. Tarnished.
Should have rolled into that. Ow. Damn it. Don't know what to do about that. about that sword combo. Maybe getting close to the bleed. Okay. Bleed, you son of a bitch. If it bleeds, we can kill it. How did that miss? Oh, damn it. Ooh. Oh my god. Christ. Agreed. It's out of control. Somebody stop me. Forget about the bleed, Mike. Jesus. God. It was a dramatic win.
I shall remember thee.
Whew.
Smoldering with
First try. Not try 28, that's for sure. Oh my god.
the hands of the fell omen shall brook thee no quarter.
Yeah, it's easy when you're good. Oh my god. That was fun. That was super fun. Thanks, Paige. It was fun doing it like that. Oh boy. Probably level up a little bit now. Do that. I'm actually go to the hold. I go bathroom. I'm gonna see if I can see a firework real quick. Go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. 2 hours, huh? Right, yeah, 3 attacks in a row. We're super greedy. All right. Be right back, everybody. I can hear some big fireworks right now. Wrong button. Well, I could hear a lot of fireworks. I did not see any, though. Alright. Before I fight the next big boss, I'm definitely going to, like, maybe get a better weapon and upgrade that. Things like that. We can go back to medium rolls for a moment. Sekiro or Elden Ring? Sekiro. Sekiro's my favorite. Sekiro's so good. When King Theoden was traveling abroad, what boarding group and airline did he fly? Boarding group 4, because it'd be Fourth Aer Lingus. Yeah, see? I got there. Doing full playthrough, that's right. We just did our first boss, no summoning. It was really easy. Took me, so few tries, I didn't even bother counting. Fourth Aer Lingus. That's what Theoden says. He's a cool guy. Oh, right, this castle. Oh, we really skipped this whole thing. Yeah, you blinked and you missed it. I don't even have a second talisman. I think there's a guy here who will yell, say something.
You there? Come over here, would you?
Okay.
I would advise against it. It's tightly guarded. Oh, try the opening right here. The guards. You'll breach the castle undetected. Yeah, you're just the kind I pray.
Is this Patches? I don't remember who Patches was in this game. I didn't really know about the whole Patches thing at the time. The new how short was the new Sewer Shark episode? I know one of them was pretty short. Oh, 5 minutes. Okay, that's the short one. Look, the game's gonna be like that sometimes. What's that? No, I can't do it. Nice roll. Yeah, look, sometimes it's going to turn out that it is in fact not the run. Bloodhound Fang is from a boss in Gaul and Limgrave. The katana can go a long way. Okay. Maybe, I mean, what I probably should be doing is going back to Limgrave and finding the cave where I can get some smithing stone ones and upgrade this thing a little bit more. Let's see. Yeah, just jail, not Gal, jail, right? So, maybe let's explore this a little bit. Maybe we can go and kill the horse guy too. In a little bit, we'll be strong. I forget how strong you have to be for that. Excuse me. Get some hit misses here. Let's see when we get closer. Oh, there's a smithing stone too. But yeah, like a lot of these there's like those areas where you can get a bunch of smithing stones. Those caves is right, so I have to find those. Oh, hello. Forgot I can still guard if I want to. Oh, these guys suck. I remember these guys now. I don't like them. Oh, can I buy some from Santa Claus? Go visit him then. That's a loud one. Bird up. Oh. Wait, what do you think? I killed a guy. What do you think about that?
Oh, well, you made it through that entire mess,
Mhm.
and off you trotted. But, oh, before the round table was chock full of... I fear you've
Has
been
been.
terrible. I don't blame you. Why not earn a seat?
Is there any reason I want to say one of these things over the other? Assume it doesn't matter. Hey, look at that thing. It's a big tree. Look at me, I'm moving my mouse with the trackpad. Yeah, it probably doesn't matter. I'll play straight through.
Then you're in to join the round table proper with the two fingers. They are the papum. Challenge Godric the Grafted. Decrepit he may be. Worse yet, I hear so. What's the matter? Then you must, for without agree with the two.
Right. I'm sure. I know he's part of something. Okay, I'm not fighting that guy yet.
Wait, well, you're back.
I don't think he has any smithing stones, but he has crafting gift with it, which I should maybe buy at some point. And yeah, I don't know. I don't remember doing too much crafting in this game. I can't remember how important it was. Do I need to buy these things, or it just teaches me about wondrous flasks and whatnot? Excuse me.
Goodbye for now.
Okay. I think somewhere down here, like, yeah, this cave, I think right here might actually have some of them. This one of those annoying birds. Am I getting down there? It's right here. Crab! Crab! Crab battle! No, there's a halfway. You gotta go in the halfway. Come on. After we get this. This way not even... Where was it? It goes this way. Ooh, big golden rune. Now do I see. They didn't hang me out to dry at least with that. Alright. Anything below this? Wait for me to die. Probably just that. Dig, 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 gonna mine the whole day through. Dig, 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 is what we like to do. Whoa, how'd that miss? ain't no trick. Get rich quick if you dig with a shovel or a pick. In a mine, in a mine, in a mine, in a mine, where a million diamonds shine. We dig, we dig. Dig up rubies by the score, 1,000 diamonds, sometimes more, though we don't know what we dig them for. We dig. Can I get up there? There we go. Oh, cool. No distance on that one. Call it a mine. A mine.
This is no mine. This is a graveyard.
Like what sounds like? Nerd. I remember there being a lot of multiple paths here that got confusing. Whoa, what happened there? Do this all day, buddy. There we go. Nice. Ow. Agreed. Whoa. Ow. Ah, damn. Rat. Oof. What is going on in here? That's it? Okay. I'll take it. Splinter. That time I feel like I do see something down there, but I feel like it is still gonna kill me. Oh, I remember getting my ass kicked in this little village before. That used to be bad. Calling it a village is probably not right. You guys hear those fireworks, I wonder? Ow. Flat one Berserk better against the stony dudes. Probably just gonna be sticking with this. I don't see myself like switching my weapons constantly. I don't know. How's that now? Oh, thank God that actually hit him. Not think it's going to. Oh. The original, the lying messages aren't even here anymore. All that remains are the things that call them liars. Is that it? Is it really dead end here? Is that right? I mean, I got the smithing stones I came here for. I could try to fall down here. Don't think I should though. I mean, even if I don't think I can survive that fall yet. I don't think it's anything. I might just teleport. I'm done. Let me see. Make sure there are any other paths. Did I not see? I don't know if I ever saw that before. Or maybe. Okay. Let me see. Which way have I been? Okay, everything in here is dead. Right, yeah, because I was looking that way before. I had to look this way. Let's delay this a little bit. There we go. Oh crap. Don't do that. Ow. You're on fire, Kratos. It'll pass. Just don't want to have to fight both of these guys at the same time. Yeah, come here. Is that the end of your patrol? Come on. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. No shield. I like this outfit because I feel like I'm like the foreign enemy in a medieval times. Oh, that got up both of them aggroed anyways, didn't it? Jesus Christ, what was that? Ow, ow, bullshit, that hit me. This is just great. All right, good enough. I vaguely remember this. Actually, you know what? That was a nice message. I will appraise this. Wait, not a pour. Good. That one was helpful. Alright, there's a boss in here. You're not gonna give me, like... damn it, I have 1 health. 1 heal, damn it. Alright, great. Well, I was just one of these guys. How hard can it be? Can I bleed a stone man? Seems to be going pretty well. Let's not die. Okay, there we go. That's fine. I got another medallion too. What's the Roar medallion? Enhances roar and breath attacks, my favorites. Everyone can't stop talking about how good those are in this game. You think there's a stake of America here? I wish I could take this gold. Oh, I see what you're saying, right? If I die, yeah. I was like, what do those do again? Right. Those are the respawny things. Alright, well, we cleared that cave out. So that's good. What was this? I kind of forget. We should go investigate that after I upgrade my weapon. Yeah, I don't miss them de-emphasizing the runbacks whatsoever. I don't miss runbacks.
Well, I took you no matter. Lay out your own.
I just wish I could get the scaling on this thing up. But someday we'll find a better weapon.
The girl you brought here, she's crestfallen but she has a gift. I saw another one like her, their eyes.
Are you doing scary hugging, lady?
Oh, had a change of heart.
Oh no, I don't want to hold you
Your
still.
disdain is but should you come pay me another visit.
Just want to see if you wanted to talk. Presumably got some souls from that. Jeez, not even enough to level up. I got an item though. It's long. Maybe should I try to fight the horseman? That'd be fine. Let's see what happens. If we do. Can we take this guy down yet? It's nighttime. Pretty. Oh, well, we killed the first boss very easily. That's all you missed. It took like a couple tries. That's for sure. I actually don't know if I want to be doing this on torrent. My guess is probably not. Okay, let's not do that again. If we jump, attack, and get off of him. It did decent damage there. I mean, if I knew what I was doing, maybe I could fight him off torrent. But I don't. That was enough souls that I would like to get them back. There they are. I mean, a run back every now and then can be okay. If it's, I don't know. I almost like done well. What does that mean? I don't even know. Alright. Maybe I should be doing this yet. Seems annoying. not doing that much damage still. It's going better all of a sudden. Oh, shit. Ow. Bleed. Oh, got lucky there. Ow. There it is. Ah, damn it. What? How'd that hit me? What was that? Like a weird shield rush. I was doing pretty good there. First I thought like, this isn't happening. Then I was suddenly feeling fine. I'll just try that again. That AoE, that's rough. It's got to roll out of the way of that. Once he started attacking with his shield, I was in big trouble. Okay. Oh. Guys, at least pretty easy to read for the most part. Telegraphs his attacks pretty well. Take that, horse butt. Yeah, there it goes. There it starts. Going no hit for a moment there. Damn it. Oh boy. What? Whoa. Jesus. Damn it, I'm trying to stay on his right side so that he attacks me with the spear instead of the shield. I can handle that. Damn it. Man, my healing's going all of a sudden. Ah. Last heal, great. Gotta proc that bleed. Yeah. Close. Alright. those. I'd love to get him more in like this field right here. Come on, go get me. There we go. A bit more open. Let's keep him here a little bit. Ow. Oh boy. Gee, rough start. Oh my god. Fuck. Whoa! What happened there? Horse's name is Melvin. This time that. 1 HP in a dream. Down. I know I should have healed. I was being greedy. I had tons of heals. I just wasn't doing it for some reason because I was like, it's going so well. All right. Don't be stupid next time, Mike. Come on, come get me. Jeez. You done? Ow. Whoa, I rolled! Actually, I think I pushed B without a direction, which isn't a roll, it turns out. That's my bad when I really think about it. My bad. I don't even know what you get for killing this guy. I just want to do it. Oh, bullshit. Great. Oh my god. It's fine. Oh, that was lucky. Just praise me. the horse headbutt me? Is that what happened there? Ooh. Oh, I did a backstep instead of a dodge again. I'm stupid. Oh my god. Ugh. Here we go. Lee, you son of a bitch. That's alright. Jesus. That's lucky. Okay, that one's not so much. Great! Woo! A weapon I may not use. Definitely won't use it. But we did it. That's the important thing. So we showed him who's boss. One level. Great. Alright. So, you think I might go join my brother to watch some fireworks, apparently? So, I'm going to go do that. We'll certainly be able to stream some more tomorrow. So, we'll get back into this. That was fun, though. 33 deaths so far. Most of those to Margit. Thanks for joining us, Carl. I have to, like, accept the, like, terms of service before I can quit the game, apparently, so that's fun. Alrighty. Let's raid Andy Cortez. Got a raid and run, so you all say hi. You all have a good night. See you all later. Bye-bye, everybody. Say hi to Andy. Woo!